Morning, everyone. Welcome to the shop. In the last episode with the Puck Sears Free Spirit, we put it back together and got it running again. So obviously the next step is to take it apart so we can finally kiss goodbye to that nasty green whatever. Cue the time lapse.
Buddy. What are your thoughts on things, huh? Yeah, come here. Let's go. What do you think of it? Huh? What do you
think? That was cute.
So a few things to note. Some stuff's just going to get masked instead of removed, like the pedals. I absolutely cannot get the pedal crank off, so I'm going to have to try and find a way to mask both the pedals and the gear. The forks are welded on. The top triple tree is welded to the rest of the fork, so that's a lot of fun. And then all this stuff has like integral bearings, and I just really don't want to mess with it. So it's either getting painted or masked, and I'm not sure what. But let's talk about the paint as I walk through the absolute mess that I've created. Then here's all the stuff we're not painting: the exhaust, the carb, the seat. I'll probably paint the seat pan, but it requires further disassembly. I need to get a new chain. Stop by the bicycle shop, get one of those. Not gonna paint the shocks. I might paint the shocks later, but not right now. And then for paint, we're going with, yeah, what do you think? He's indifferent. Rust-Oleum Farm and Implement paint. In this case, Ford Tractor Blue with white accents. We're painting it like a Ford tractor, because I used this stuff in Kubota Orange on a motorcycle that I repaired on the tank, and it held up. It was so amazingly durable, and I had to do basically no prep, and it stuck like glue. So, big fan of this stuff. And then I've also just got, wire brush to help with prep and some other stuff. So we're going to try and get some coats on here for the 2 days of nice weather that we have. And then while it's drying, I can go to the store and buy some replacements for some of this horrid mismatched hardware that's all throughout this bike. It looks even more like a jug of milk than I expected. So I got the stand set up for a few things. Progress has been made on everything else. The swing arm has been fighting me. First I had nasty fisheye issues because of chain oil getting slung onto this. So then I sanded it down and primed it, and then sprayed over the primer, but yeah, something's still having a reaction. I used wax and grease remover and stuff, but something's making this paint wrinkle a little bit, only in certain places. So, mildly annoying, but I think I'm just going to roll with it for now. Everything else is coming along okay. I have my doubts about the handlebars. I don't know. They were really, really, really rough underneath the paint. I had to use a whole bunch of layers, and I think I might have made the handlebars thicker, which is a problem. Over here, I have not even started on the wheels yet. They are just chilling. I don't want to mask everything. It's gonna suck. But the frame had similar issues with fish eyes, except that my remediation efforts were far more successful. I sanded it down, primed it. Who knew? Primer's actually important. And now I'm on about to do coat 3 here, and that's looking fine. Now, the engine is the next thing I'm going to start on, and not only have we been using tractor paint here, but we're going to use tractor rules with the engine, which is I've masked off the things that I don't want paint on, and I'm just going to bomb the absolute crap out of it using some high-temp aluminum colored engine enamel just to cover up the green. I mean, this whole half of the engine is going to get replaced at some point. So this is really all that I care about. And of course there's still dust and stuff, but I just don't care. The idea is this is like a 30-foot sort of deal. If it looks okay from 30 feet at 30 miles an hour, that's fine by me. I just don't want it to look stolen anymore. And who knows, if I really like this color or whatever, I might go back later and have this powder coated once I get, new front forks and other fancy parts. But right now I just want to get this to the point where I'm not going to immediately get arrested if I go ride this thing. So, engine time. This is probably the messiest my shop has ever been, but it's time for things to go back together. I even went to the hardware store and bought all new nuts and bolts for most of the bike, actually, because everything was mismatched and it was awful, and a lot of stuff was just straight up missing. So, hopefully with this, we can reassemble a majority of the bike. Oh well. few things that have needed some taking care of before we go really ride this thing. I changed the transmission fluid. It uses, what is this? Gosh, my shop is an absolute disaster. Type F automatic transmission fluid. My friend says it's a little bit grippier than regular ATF, so that will help the clutch. We have, oh yes, a fuel filter. I did that. And then here in the cap, there are these little indentations periodically around the edge, and those were full of gunk. And apparently that's how the tank vents, so I made sure those are clean. And then we've got the carb part, so we can install some parts from Treatland. And I did know Treatland exists. So this is genuine Bing parts, a slide, a 2.22, whatever that is, a jet. I think it's a 75 jet, and a needle. Now, looking at these parts next to what came out of my China clone carburetor, they all look identical. I'm pretty sure that this is the setup that the China clone carb was based off of, except you cannot swap the jets. So, I mean, like, the needle looks the exact same profile, everything about the slide looks the same, but hey, apparently these things are some sort of Austrian wizard magic, so who knows, maybe it'll just work better that way. I also did my best to adjust the float height. It's supposed to kind of sit level. I think I have a little bit more to do. It's not quite level. And just adjust that by bending those tangs there, so I'll give that a little bit more work. And then throw the carb back together with these parts and put it on here, and put some fresh gas in here. I just realized that the tank of gas I've been using is over 1.5 years old, and I have no idea what ratio it's mixed to. So I'm going to throw some fresh 50-to-1 premix in there, and then we'll take her for a rip. It is freezing out here. Literally, I think it's 30 degrees, but hey, you know what? It'd be that way. Oh, also, I got the seat. Obviously, still ugly. Have not done anything with the seat yet. That'll be another video. And I just got this cargo rack, which I also have not done anything with yet. So those might just be a future video, or I'll just do that on my own. Other than that, the handlebars are bent, and I did not realize that until I put them back on. So I'll be ordering some new handlebars. Other than that, she's pretty close to ready to go. So there we go. In one video, we went from the love child of amphetamines and boredom to something that's almost respectable, and it does 30 miles an hour, and it seems to be pretty reliable so far. Knock on... There's no wood here, I'm screwed. But I'm pretty happy with this, and I did find out this is the 1.5 or 1 horsepower model. The way you could tell is by the size of the front sprocket. The smaller horsepower models have a 13 tooth, and the 2 horsepower has a 15 tooth, and this has a 13 tooth sprocket. So I could probably get some more speed out of this just by going to a larger front sprocket, because it pulls pretty hard right until it runs out of RPM. So I might try that in the next video though. Thanks for watching.